Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video we will know about Shion, Gobta, Sokka, Gabiru and Hakuro vs Holy Knights. Watch out for spoilers, it may contain spoilers for upcoming anime. Subscribe the channel for more web novel chapters. Now, after begging for subscribers, let's start the video. As if threatened off the battlefield by Shion, Gobta and Gabiru headed towards a small group of knights. At some point Hakuro was running beside them and Soe's shadow squad had joined. Don't hold us back, dearest brother. Who asked you to come? And you should make sure you don't hinder me. That was Gabiru's and Sokka's exchange. Though they always seem hostile, everyone knows they actually treasure each other. Only they themselves don't notice it. And after this exchange they had finally reached their destination. The knights too felt a group of monsters approaching them and finished their preparations. They filled their weapons with spiritual power and were thus fully armed. Beware. Those monsters don't seem like small fry. By Captain, there's 6 dragonutes among them. And those monsters that aren't wearing armor are ogres, right? No, though it's hard to believe, those are not ogres. They are the fair Oni. Unlike ogres that depend on raw strength, these unique beings utilize special abilities. Oh, sounds annoying. But their dragonute vanguard also seems to have unusual air about him. The knights discussed. The approaching monsters were surely the main force of the monster country. The captain clicked his tongue in annoyance. But, even if they abandoned constructing the barrier here, surely another site would succeed. That just proves how well Hinata has read their plan. It's a good thing that their main force had come here. Alright, I will defeat those large dragonutes. You two defeat the Oni. The other 5 deal with the other 5 dragonutes. Understood. Wait, didn't you forget about that hobgoblin? Captain Grigory gave the inquirer an incredulous look, and tisk. So what, that I overlooked some small fry? I'll deal with him in a single moment later, he said, and the knights nodded in response. They knew the captain's power. The likes of hobgoblins would not even be able to land a single hit on him. But, why is the hobgoblin included with the rest of them? A few of them thought, suspicion growing. Not a single monster introduced themselves. Nor did they intend to allow them to do so. Drop dead, you hindrance. Hau Yushkizan, High King Spirit beheading. Swinging his halberd, he fired a powerful shock wave at the monsters. The energy that escaped Templar Gregory's body intended to annihilate the monsters in a single striker. In addition to that, he fired the holy cannon from his hand, the bullets spiraling around the halberd's attack. The energy from the halberd and the bullets combined into a single energy bolt. This Yushkizan was Gregory's secret anti-monster certain kill technique. This shock wave pressed on in a straight line as if light itself. Right in the direction of Gabiru and Sokka, who had already avoided the attack. As for the remaining Gobta and Hakuro, Hakuro had jumped onto the trees and moved via branches towards the knights. So only Gobta remained. Wah, seriously. The path was exceedingly narrow, so only someone with Hakuro's agility could avoid the attack. For Grigory, as long taking out 2 or 3 enemies with this attack would have been ideal, but he would be satisfied as long as he killed that small fry. And thus, completely forgetting about the hobgoblin, he diverted his attention to the dragonutes approaching from the sky. Thus began this battle. The one in most danger was Gobta. Anyone and everyone that could have saved him have gone on ahead. Seriously, what a joke. How cruel to leave this frail me behind. Gobta grumbled, preparing for an attack. Unlike the ridiculous department heads, there was little he could do. Nor did he want to be treated the same as them. Excuse me, Wisdom King Raphael-san. It's an emergency. What should I do? Solution. If you, individual, Gobta, get hit by that, you will perish. You should unite with the Star Wolf, slip into the shadow, and attack the enemy from behind. Understood. Thanks for always saving me. Surprisingly enough, as long as a thought link was established, Gobta could communicate with Raphael. And, using Raphael's calculations, Gobta immediately sprung into action. After uniting with the Star Wolf and diving into the shadows, he was able to avoid the shockwave. And in this state he continued to move. He felt a great increase in his abilities and his raw strength at least double. Without doubting Raphael's calculations at all, Gobta sneaked behind the knight who had attacked him. He was completely oblivious to the fact that this enemy was the squad captain and one of the more powerful opponents. In fact, he blindly obeyed the Wisdom King's directions. Knight Templar Grigory by no means let his guard down. That is why he was able to respond to that presence. When he felt a monster suddenly appear behind him, he rolled forward to escape that place. Moreover, he was able to dodge the attack of the wolf's fangs coming at him from behind, and even launch a counterattack with his halberd. Grigory was surprised that the hobgoblin whom he had ridden off as dead a second ago had come out unscathed and attacked him. But, on this field of battle, he quickly recovered and focused on the opponent. The thought that he had underestimated his enemy was now gone from his mind, and he deemed the one before him a worthy foe. Gobta and Grigory. Without losing or letting each other gain a single inch, a violent battle erupted between the two. Since he traveled via the shadow, Gobta appeared amidst the enemy faster than anyone else. This surprised not only the knights but Gabiru and the rest as well. Shadow step. Huh, how disgraceful. To think he could use the shadows better than we could. No, Gobta-chan is amazing. Yeah, he's stronger than us, you know. Tuka and Seika responded to Suka's complaint. Though she had never heard anyone describe Gobta as strong until now, she knew he was not weak. Truly, the monster country Tempest simply had too many strong individuals. The extent of her master Soei's power she could not even fathom. She could hardly be surprised by him. Right, I guess we also need to show off our powers a bit, she said, and took to the skies in order to fight off the soldiers who advancing towards Gobta, thus effectively crippling their communications. Suka's group was thus able to fight the knights one-on-one. Gabiru immediately set off to overwhelm the two adjutants. As Grigory's direct assistants, by no means were they weak. But their choice of weapon failed them this time. The weapon which was meant to cut off the opponent's magic energy just couldn't pierce Gabiru's natural armor. Though these knights certainly had other skills to use, Gabiru himself was a first-rate warrior. Blocking Gabiru's spear, snapped their swords in half. Moreover, the knight's prided ability of using spirit magic without an incantation had no effect on him. So they couldn't gain an advantage by suddenly firing off magic at him. In short, they couldn't deal him any damage, and even the most pettiest of tricks throwing sand in his eyes wouldn't work due to magic perception ability. They were completely powerless. Guahahaha. What's wrong? Is this all you can do? With this much you wouldn't last even an hour of Hikuro Dano's training session, Gabiru said, while freely playing with the adjutants. From the very beginning, Gabiru had a resistance to the holy attribute and paid little mind to their spirit magic archive. Besides, they were inferior in sword skill and other physical abilities. Thus, Gabiru was a monster who could overwhelm two adjutant-class holy knights. Unable to accept the existence of such a monster, the adjutants decided to try to buy some time. As long as they could hold out until Grigory would cut down that hobgoblin, it would be their victory. It seems that these men have long forgotten about the fair Oni who was no longer in sight. The rest of the squad too, though called a force that could crush 1,000 enemies by themselves, were barely able to hold back the Dragonutes. And thus the battle continued, with every group resisting their respective opponents. There was someone who overlooked this battle from the treetops. Hikuro. While looking at this scene, humph. Gabiru is having too much fun. Suka's group was able to find good opponents. If a battle is too easy, it doesn't teach you anything. Thank goodness they were able to find good opponents. Practice cannot teach one to feel danger, he muttered, observing their battles. Of course, should any one of them had wound up in trouble, he intended to support them right away, but that was clearly unnecessary. Gobta, you bastard, if you can do that much, why were you running away then? But I guess he's doing his best now. 'Tis all the guidance of our wisdom King Raphael-sama, he said with a satisfied nod. Everything was going according to plan. When Shion suggested they stage a fight with similar ranked people, though it was completely idiotic, Hikuro and Raphael decided to turn it into training. Though Hikuro could see Benimaru finding out about this arrangement later and demanding that they do the fight over. Truly, he hoped that Shion would learn the fear of pain. No, it's probably useless even if she gets hurt, he muttered and sighed. Now then, with regards to the plan. Using the thought link he could communicate with the Wisdom King. Chances are, it was Raphael who had decided what abilities would be given to them. After having decided what kind of servants would most benefit their common lord RIMURU. At the present moment, without any doubt or suspicion, they fully depended on Raphael's advice. Though Raphael often saw no need to reply, this time Raphael did. And this carefully designed battle continued. With this, Gobta and Suka's proficiency may increase. But, Gabiru's no good. He's having too much fun. When this is over, I'll work him to the bone. Hikuro muttered dissatisfied. But the pitiful Gabiru did not know these things, and haughtily fought the knights. His fun times would continue a little longer. That's it for this video. Subscribe the channel for more web novel series. Meet you on next video.